All right, so how do you protect money from divorce? What's kind of like the theory behind asset protection or estate planning when we're thinking about divorce and things? I'm Michael Redden. If you have any comments or questions about this topic, please put them down below. If you want to know something further about it, you always can go to book.reddenlawoffice.com. I actually wrote the book on this kind of topic, and I'll send it out to you if you put your information in. So, we've talked a lot about both in estate planning and in asset protection, separating yourself from these kind of threats and separating yourself from your money. It's the same thing in divorce planning. Think about what you're doing, right? Let's say you go the traditional route. You go and you get that prenup agreement. That's really just a contract saying, hey, we're going to separate me from all the money that I had prior to the marriage, and it's not going to come into the marriage with us. It's different. It's separate. So you can't really touch that. Okay? So that's one kind of way they do it. I can tell you that it's probably not enough, though. So let's think about this. It's a contract, yeah. But where is it going to get interpreted at? Family court. What's family court? It's a court of equity. There are two types of court. Courts of law, courts of equity. Courts of law is what you think about it. There's a real solution. Someone's going to win. Everything's great. What's a court of equity? Court of equity says, we want to do what's fair. Fair isn't equal. Equitable isn't equal. It is feelings. What the judge or someone thinks is fair. And we never want feelings associated with our money. Sure, the prenup might take care of a lot of these things, but there's still that added risk of feeling and fairness. And it encourages us to fight over these things. Okay? So let's think about what we do once the marriage is kind of going forward. Because that takes care of us before the marriage. We're still going to accrue a lot of assets and grow and do things while we're in the marriage, right? Traditional planning is not going to separate you from that. There's going to be all those kinds of arguments with it because that spouse helped you build it. And what's fair? It's not going to be fair to let them get none of that, right? So we've got to also take that next step and separate what's in our marriage from us as well. Because the marital estate, that's the big word for the property that's owned in a marriage that can be divided, is going to be what you guys own at that time that wasn't covered by that previous agreement. We've talked about how trusts and things, especially in Minnesota, can't be pierced for divorce and things like that. There are special kind of trusts you guys can do. What you'll do is, you and your spouse will have a trust, and the assets and things that are important to you that you would want to keep anyway, you just put them in each other's trusts. When they're inside the trust, they're not in the marital estate. So if we do this right and we plan that way, what happens? You get down to divorce and things are going to happen. You've already had that agreement from the prenup about what you brought into the marriage. Do you really get to fight about what's in the marriage, though? You've kind of already divided it. What's important to everybody and what's fair and equitable because of business decisions, because it's going to be taxed easier, because we've talked about that trust in your business get taxed better. We've separated it. What's important to you is in each other's trust. We did it for business reasons and marriage reasons. It's not in the divorce estate. You're pretty much have already done your divorce property settlement. So you've covered what's before, you covered what's in the marriage. What's left to fight about? The important things. We're not going to fight about grandma's brooch. We're not going to fight about the car or the house. We're going to talk about what's best for the kids. And how are the kids going to handle with separation? How the kids are going to handle with parenting time? What are we going to do for them? We can take our separate ways. Sure, some person might not get as much of the money as they thought they were going to get, but you're going to have a better relationship. No one's going to be destitute or poor when they walk away, and you can focus on the kids. If you've made enough money for this to be a problem for you, you're always going to be able to make more money. Go into this thinking that way and thinking about being fair to each other and separating them out so you don't have to fight about it. If you stay together, great. If you don't, you have the certainty of knowing what you're taking with you and plan accordingly. When we don't have the money piece in there, the emotions go to what really matters. Not that money doesn't matter, but does it matter as much as your children? Think about that.